you, but just watch this first, would you?
My greatest...
First, Trump supporters, I have a question for you, but just watch this first, would you?
My greatest legacy, however, will be as a peacemaker and a unifier.
The president has shown a willingness to be the president of peace.
I want to bring peace, not war, I think.
Now, President Trump is a president of peace.
I'll be your peacemaker. I will prevent World War III.
Wherever war breaks out, he's going to be the president of peace.
I am the candidate of peace. I am peace.
Donald Trump is the candidate of peace.
Start no new wars. You know, we were the toughest. We were the most respected.
We need 4 more years of the candidate of peace and prosperity.
We have peace in the Middle East right now. They said it couldn't be done.
One of the biggest and most important arguments I can make for Donald Trump is I really believe that he is the candidate of peace.
I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more.
Yeah, I deserve the Nobel Prize. But the point is, he's broken this promise to be the peace and prosperity president. Wildly broken.
7 countries bombed by the US in 2025, while Trump claims president of peace. First and foremost, I would like to give out praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yakakdash, double to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Archeon, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Your brother has sat back at it and at the lesson will be terrifying, and this one going to, hey, you know, hey, they have broken almost every covenant, because hey, you can't trust these devils, you know. On many occasions they come with the smooth words, but in the end, what war was in the heart, right? And hey, as she said, Trump supporters, how many broken promises, and that's it. That's their nature. The scripture says the wicked, they are estranged from the womb, they're born speaking lies. And that way they would come with the most smoothest set of words, exactly what you want to hear, and then he would do all the opposite. And that's the devil for you. So let's continue, because he mentioned it's peace. Look at, you know, peace in the Middle East and whatnot. But what? 7 countries bombed by the US in 2025, while Trump claims president of peace. They even set up he changed the name from, I think it was Secretary of Peace to Secretary of War. I believe is that. Selak, let me double check it.
No prosperity.
Yes, Selak. It's Department of Defense. He changed it into Department of what? Of War. But yet you're coming with the facade of bringing peace, right?
But it's not just those promises he's broken. It's every promise. It's that he promised to bring prices down on day 1, and he didn't. Promised to bring prices down on day 1.
Yeah, grocery prices are jumping up. We explain why, because hey, that's it, you know, especially with its tariffs and whatnot he imposing on other nations, with making it much harder for goods to, more expensive to bring goods, so the cost of living would be much higher. Also, you know, with the wars going on, hey, trade is affected. Trade surely is affected.
And he didn't. Promised to release all of the Epstein files, and his administration is covering them up because he could be implicated in them. Promised that his deportations would only focus on the worst of the worst criminals. 73%.
Yeah, it's 5% of people detained by ICE have violent conviction. 73 no conviction, because hey, we know that is a great target to come down on you. You are Native Americans, you know, Hispanic, and Hispanic, mostly the Mexicans, Venezuelan, Colombian, Dominican. It's mostly Jakes being rounded up and deported.
The people he's detained don't.
After you voted, and what he came with his devilish smirk. My Hispanics, you know, my blacks and whatnot, supporters, voters, you know. And look, he turned back when he gets what he wants and spitting in your face. Never trust thine enemy, just as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Even have a parking ticket. I could go on and on. There's not a single thing he promised to do that he has actually done, and there's no sign that he will. So here's my question for you. Literally, I want to know how many broken promises are too many for you. Is there any number? Any at all? If there's no number, what happened to your self-respect? Where did you lose it? And do you ever think you might like to get it back? Because right now, you look like a bunch of people who just want a powerful man to put his foot on your neck, then laugh at you as he robs you blind. Maybe get some help for that before your low self-esteem.
Hey, shalom, shalom. And as you see, so we'll go into some precepts, and because, hey, it's going back into the precepts of his character, that how these Edomites are. So first, the book of Psalms 55 and 28 say he had put forth his hands such as be against such as be at peace with him, because listening to a little news article and it was mentioning how when I think it's the right, I got the article here which it says the Atomic Agency head says no proof of Iran weapons program. The head of the UN nuclear watchdog says inspectors have not found evidence of a coordinated Iranian program to build nuclear weapons despite Israeli and US claims. Right? International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Grossi told NBC News that the agency had not identified elements of a systematic and structured program to manufacture nuclear weapons in Iran. At the same time, confirmed that Tehran has enriched uranium to 60% purity, a level far beyond civilian energy needs. Grossi said such enrichment is something only countries with nuclear weapons have. He stressed that inspectors could not conclude Iran intends to build a bomb, but said the stockpiling raised serious questions. Right? Yeah, and this is the sure, because hey, such as them that those don't do the harm, you come out and show your true colors. Right? The scripture say, I'll read it back, verse 20, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Because the Iran, they didn't want to know. He started the war. 11, I think it was 11 p.m. around there, so hey, about 2 o'clock in the morning, hey, sometime period around there, hey, bombs dropped. Bombs was sent out, the US attacked, sent strike, news articles mentioning the Lieutenant Iranian leader, Ayatollah Ali, Khamenei, the leader Iranian, the Iran leader, right? And some others that were deleted, so news articles came across and whatnot. It say he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. As the lady mentioned, she called out a couple things and it was all an empty promise. It was all broken covenants. And that's their nature. That same Psalm 55 and 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So before, when he was the opposition, wanting to get back in a president's seat, he came with all his nice words, my Hispanics, my blacks and whatnot supporters, all of them fully voted for Trump, Hey, who knows the fake that attack are trying to be assassinated and all these madness. Hey? It said, but war was in his heart. Look at the end results. His words were softer than oil, yet though they was drawn swords. So hey, he know. One, you claim that Iran has their intentions to bomb Israel and bomb America and all these different claims, they're building nuclear missiles and whatnot, and you give them a small time period for them to come to your agreements, and they didn't, but this is what you wanted, because hey, why would you send all these different warship carriers, all of these different military equipment to the Middle East if it was just a peace treaty? A peace treaty doesn't involve no sort of military actions needed, if you're mentioning you want to set a peace treaty, but that's how they are. War was in the heart. And that is why, as the scripture say in the book of 2 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety. Because this man's anthem is so-called peace, but hey, on the other hand, this man is a warmonger. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. When you see, a lot of cries, mourning going out, 183 school children, girls were deleted due to a airstrike hitting the school and deleting a couple, Yeah, so Iran is left mourning. Yeah, the leader deleted and whatnot, so hey, we could only just watch on, look on. Sirach 2:10, as I quoted it, let's say, no, Sirach 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Just as we look at the plot, he plotted against Venezuela. First it was to stop narco-terrorists and whatnot, and they're going straight into kidnapping the president, using a military tactical weapon on the Venezuelan military and whatnot, yeah, because you ought not to trust them. They always break the covenant. The scripture say, Psalm 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking what? Lies. That is what they do, they speak lies. That's what they are about. There's all lies, a covenant breaker. That's what these Edomites are capable of. Yeah, I was listening to how we told them, hey, or they drop all their arms, or you would be met with what? A swift death. He speak of his pride at his military, the best military in the world. If he gonna stop World War III from happening and all these things, but hey, this is just for a time. As the scripture said, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made the nations drink. But hey, we know all these moves stirring up that hate in the nation's heart until the prophecies are, all of them that confederate are, they're gonna burn you with fire. The 10 horns, they're gonna burn out with fire. So hey, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash, Governor City Elders and the Apostles of Great Millstone. Till the next Shalom.